It's Layperson Lisa with the reflection on the readings for the 5th Sunday in Lent. We have just finished a woman's hope retreat, and my talk was on hope and reconciliation and the Sacrament of Reconciliation, and today's readings tie in so wonderfully with that. I was talking about how the Sacrament of Reconciliation in our own lives can reflect the Paschal Mystery, and the Paschal Mystery is the life, suffering, death, and resurrection of Jesus, and sometimes the Ascension is added to that as well. And so Ezekiel talks about how that I will put my spirit in you that you may live. And through the Sacrament of Reconciliation, God gives us hope in our times when we are burdened with shame, with guilt, with regret. We can kind of feel weighed down, kind of like the dry bones. The people in the book of Ezekiel who had lost hope in God. We can get to a low place in our lives, but the Sacrament of Reconciliation helps to redeem us. It resurrects us from those sins that have been dragging us down. And it's beautiful because in the book of Ezekiel, the words that God breathed in Hebrew, NPH, is the same word that is used in the book of Genesis when God breathed his spirit into Adam. In the book of Ezekiel, God, I will put my spirit in you that you may live. And that's what happens in the Sacrament of Reconciliation. We become dead we become dead in the sense that sin has could destroy our friendship with God when we are in the state of mortal sin, that we have chosen to sever our friendship with him. So mortal sin, something that is severe, as described by the Ten Commandments, that we know it is wrong, and we choose to do it anyway. And so these things these mortal sins destroy our friendship with God. God is always, it's like the prodigal father and the prodigal son. Like, he is wastefully extravagant with his compassion and his mercy and his love for us. And he's always searching for us. He's always waiting for our return in the Sacrament of Reconciliation. And then when we do, he's running towards us and embracing us and wants to just drape us in the royalty that comes from his love for us. And so, where in your life is your spirit dragged down by sin? Let the Sacrament of Reconciliation reanimate us and give us hope in God, that we can be redeemed through this amazing, beautiful sacrament. And in Romans, Paul talks about how we are in the Spirit, that the Spirit of God dwells in us because of our baptism. And so we are always tethered to God. And again, when we enter into mortal sin, that tether, God never lets go, but we do. And we can restore that. We can resurrect that friendship through the Sacrament of Reconciliation. And then in John's Gospel about the rising of Lazarus, there are so many things in here that are so amazing. And the thing that kind of struck me was how when Jesus said, "Okay, roll away the stone," and what did Martha say? She said, but Lord, it's going to stink. And so she did not have that confidence, even though she said, "Yes, I know you are the resurrection." She didn't have that confidence, that hope in him. And so there's times in my life where I struggle with trusting God, but he wants us to trust us completely. I think a lot of people, there was a woman who said, "I wish I could be baptized on my deathbed, because then I would go right to heaven." And when we go and make frequent use of the Sacrament of Reconciliation, when our friendship with him is restored when we go because, oh Lord, I just want to tell you that I've hurt you and I'm so sorry, then we grow in this sanctifying grace. We grow in deeper intimacy in relationship with God. And so we have to trust in confidence the mercy and love and divine and the compassion that he has for us, and to trust that, yeah, you know what, we're going to fall, but to trust that the Father is there to pick us up. When we like Saint Therese, she just calls us to be she exemplified what it's like to be childlike and to have confidence in God. Like, okay, I've fallen, but I know you are the one who can pick me up and hug me and restore me and resurrect me from this tomb. And so we have to have confidence in God's divine mercy, in his divine compassion for us, in his divine love for us, because when we are baptized, we are chosen by him, and he wants us to be with him in heaven, in all eternity. And so yes, sometimes there is a time where we need to spend time in purgatory to be purified of those things which keep us from him. But he wants to resurrect us. And so the church offers us the opportunity for plenary indulgences, where we do some sort of holy act. And in this case, in the year of St. Francis, the St. Clare of Assisi Retreat Center has been named a pilgrimage site by the diocese. So whenever you're on retreat at the retreat center and you are there in prayer, you have the opportunity for a plenary indulgence by going to the Sacrament of Reconciliation, receiving the Eucharist, praying for the intentions of the Pope, invoking Mary and St. Francis and the Franciscan saints. Then you can, and being detached from sin, you can get a plenary indulgence which wipes that temporal punishment clean. If you do it for yourself, you can help a soul get to you can help a soul get from purgatory to heaven by offering it for someone who has passed. And so God in his compassion offers us so many ways to be with him forever. And we have to just continue to trust him, continue to depend on him. And so where in your life are you not trusting God 100%? What do you need to bring to the Sacrament of Reconciliation so that you are fully restored in friendship with him, because he just wants us to jump into his arms and be with him forever. And so Lent is a great time to take the opportunity to go to the Sacrament of Reconciliation. And sometimes it's been a while because of different, maybe fear, pride, guilt, shame. We don't feel worthy. But that's not the case. We can be resurrected from all of those things when we encounter him and his divine mercy in the Sacrament of Reconciliation. We can be resurrected people, and that's what he calls us to be, that we are an Easter people, and we are called to say hallelujah. And in just a few weeks we will enter into the joyous celebration of Easter, where we are called to live as resurrected people.